I always see this Don Sullivan's The Perfect Dog as seen on TV, and it's on the internet. I don't really know what Don Sullivan's about, so I Googled Don Sullivan, The Perfect Dog, and I found a review and somebody talking about Don Sullivan, and they right away, it was a food trainer saying, Don Sullivan says that you can't train a dog with treats, and she starts talking about operant conditioning, and I'm raising my hand to say, Don Sullivan's right. Don't train with food. And I'm going to explain why. And this is not an endorsement for Don Sullivan. I don't know anything about his training method, although I do know that the man doesn't recommend training with treats. And I'll explain why we don't train with treats. And Don Sullivan seems to understand why. Operant conditioning is about both the positive and the negative, and the alleviation of both. In other words, you can train a dog using purely positive, like with food. You can train an animal to jump over a barrel using food, but the problem is you're socially interacting with these animals, and dogs have this social structure that's so important that what happens is the dog starts seeing you as a resource for snacks, not a leader. Do you understand? Don Sullivan's correct, and the other thing about training with food is you condition the dog to be excited. So even if the animal is calm, when you bring the food down, it excites the mind of the canine, and then you reinforce that excited mind by giving it the food. It makes the dog dangerous when humans have food in their hand. And I don't want to hear about, oh, not if you only do it every 4 times or every 5 times. Bullshit. I've been watching this for years. I know what's going on here. You know, I don't want to hear it, food trainer. You don't know what you're talking about. Operant conditioning, you seem, the positive reinforcement trainers want to throw that around. Like, oh, you can train an animal, you know, and it is true. You can train an animal to do something using a purely positive method. But what you can't do is train the animal to be respectful to human beings in a human world. This is a human world. It has nothing to do with the dog's world. If the dogs were out in the wild, there's no problem. But they're living around us. That's why you don't train with food. And Don Sullivan, I don't know your methods. I don't know anything about him. But Don Sullivan is correct. You do not train with treats for a reason. Thumbs up, Don Sullivan. You're one of the few dog trainers I'm saying thumbs up about. I know nothing about your methods, but you are 100% correct. Do not train your dog with food. Don't do it. It's a big mistake. You get a response from the dog real quick, but in the long run, you end up with dogs that are a mess. That's the problem.